tell you about Patty's pastries. Baby, let me tell you about Patty's pastries.
What up, guys? Welcome back to another week of In a Pinch with Patty, featuring
Quis.
What up, y'all?
What's happening?
We missed y'all.
We did.
Glad to be back another week. It has definitely been wild with everything going on in the world and on social media.
Definitely.
Glad to be here, free of all of that right now.
Let's tune all that out. Let's get into the good vibes, good times. I know y'all might be going through whatever y'all going through, but right now is the time to relax your mind, let your conscience free, because you're now rapping with Quis and Patty Pastries.
Hey! Bars.
Come on. But thank y'all for tuning in for sure.
So y'all, I really hope that some of y'all tuned into the podcast. Not some of y'all, whoever's listening now, I hope you tuned in to last week. Because it was a real one.
A lot of good information.
And if you didn't watch episode 5, we were talking about debt, so feel free to push the back button when you're finished here and go give it a listen or put it on your playlist. This week, we're going to be talking about something that's very important to myself and Quis.
Definitely.
And it's going to be E for entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
That word is always like entrepreneurialism. Entrepreneurship, guys. I mean, 100% of you should know by now that I'm definitely a small business / entrepreneur.
Self-made.
Quis as well.
Mm-hmm. And that's the way it is. There's a lot of entrepreneurs out there nowadays. I feel like we're in the age of, everybody working for themselves and pretty much making things happen. So, I feel like this is a great topic that we're about to get into. If you got business minded yourself, if you got friends that are business minded, you don't know what they be talking about, you might get a little information right here. So this is definitely one to tune into. And we're gonna make it happen for y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just have to tell you, like a good percentage of, I know my subscribers here, IG, here in IG mostly are like small businesses, entrepreneurs. Yeah. Facebook too, but I have a lot of people like, family back home. So yeah. Facebook's like an eclectic mix, but I do have a lot of, entrepreneurs on Facebook, which I'm glad for, because like when I lack motivation, it's like all I have to do is scroll. So
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, as an entrepreneur, you definitely know the stuff that you feed yourself during the day when you are on social media for whatever reasons, like that makes all the difference. And if you're feeding yourself, money ideas and business ideas and just different things like that, you already know what we about to get into right here. So what's going to be the first topic for today?
All right, guys. I'm gonna like focus on probably about 7 different aspects of
and I'm gonna focus on this blunt real quick. I'm gonna go
do that. Yeah, I'm gonna focus on probably like 7 different like major keys or like major like topics that I feel like tie into being an entrepreneur, things that you should know, just prior knowledge like during the whole process. And I mean, listen, I'm like 4 years in, but I mean, I'm educating myself and learning stuff like every day. So that being said, get educated. Like, I feel like that's one of the main things that you should do before you do anything. And when I say get educated, do your research. Research, if it's something that you want to do, I would never be like, oh, research who's doing it in your area or whatever. But I mean, it is good to know who your competition is as well.
Good to know who your competition is. Research your suppliers, research your process of getting things put into rotation. It's a lot of research that comes involved. It ain't just like, oh, it's a great idea, let's do it. Like, a smart person definitely makes a lot of calculated decisions and know what they're getting into. And I would say knowing your competition, definitely up there. And
yeah, I mean, it is important.
You gotta know how they moving too.
It's true, and I mean, I think it's important. I don't think it's mandatory, but I definitely do think it's important to know like what's shaking and baking before you put your foot in the water. But I'm also gonna say, like, if it's something that you want to do and you believe in yourself, like, you do that shit. Yeah, like you have to research your, you know, your age group.
For sure.
You have to research, you know, your costs and expenses.
Mm-hmm.
You have to research, you know, what things that you're gonna offer or could offer that other people may not be offering. And I mean, not just that, like, you look into like the LLCs. Like, I'm all about paying taxes. Let's just put that out there.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to the IRS. Like, but these are things that people don't research.
For
like,
sure.
When you file that LLC, that's a wrap. You paying taxes. Like, and people, I know because I'm one of them. Like, well, I started my business prior to COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But like 6 months prior to COVID.
Got you.
But if I would have done my research, I would not have filed for my LLC prior to COVID.
Got you.
Just because, you know, at the end of the day, I was, obviously I'm aware of taxes, but like I wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then, like, here comes COVID, and, like, thank goodness, you know, we had some help as far as, like, you know, with some relief and stuff like that. But, you know, people don't tell you, like, oh, when you file for these LLCs, like, you have to pay annual reports every year. You have to pay your taxes. You want to be active.
Yeah, facts.
Because if you're not active, then somebody can take your name. Then what? You worked hard. You did all this work for what?
Somebody take your shit.
You know, and I feel like also too, like, unless you're 100% sure that that's what you want to be doing full time, then you know what I'm saying? You need to do your research. You need to work in that field for a second.
Got you.
Get your clientele up, you know, network, stuff like that. I think all of that is important. But again, it just comes down to doing your research.
Facts.
Another important one, and I hope y'all are listening to this, like, know your market.
For sure.
Because it's all about, and we were just talking about this, it's like, you've got wants, and then you've got needs. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I always recommend to people, if they're thinking, if they, like, want to be their own boss and they haven't, you know, they may not have something, like, figured out, man, get a trade. People are always going to need their haircut. You know what I'm saying? They're always going to need their nails done, their feet done. People are always going to need AC, like, here in America anyway.
For
you
sure.
know what I'm saying? Like, it's just important. And, like, AI is coming, so you
AI
just...
is here.
I mean, yeah, AI is here, but I'm saying it's really, it's going to pull up
Yeah,
soon.
facts.
Yeah, I think knowing who you're reaching and what's important and what people want is important.
Definitely. Knowing your customer base is definitely where everything is at. Knowing what the wants and needs, as far as, like, people want things certain times of the year. If it's cold, they're gonna want something that they don't need during the summertime. if they got something during the winter time that they don't got, during any other time of the year, it kind of puts things into perspective as far as like having to fill a void that's, going on within certain people, like having to fix somebody else's problems. Like if you have a product that nobody needs right now, then like they ain't gonna cop it. So like you got to think about the fact that, are you solving any problems whenever you're, starting your business? Or are you just starting a business out of taking whatever you do well and just trying to turn a profit from it? Like it's a lot of things that come into it, and I feel like your research definitely plays a lot of role on that, because you get to see like if this is even necessary right now, if you just doing what you're doing for no reason and trying to turn a profit.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's when it comes down to like sitting down and like writing out a business plan.
For sure. Business plan definitely helps.
Listen, I can show you my business plan. Like, me and Liz sat down in the same kitchen and wrote down my business plan 4.5 years ago, and I still look at it like once a month.
That's good shit.
Yeah, because it's like, like the old folks say, you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So
that's the truth.
Definitely, do your research, figure out who you're marketing to, what you're marketing, and how relevant it is to
what's going on.
Yeah, your audience. Here's a big one. The financials of becoming an entrepreneur or a small business owner.
You mean the struggles? Because that's what I heard. I mean, there's good times. Don't get me wrong. There's definitely a lot of good times. That's what makes being an entrepreneur, what it is, when you're taking care of business all on your own strength and your own happenings. But the finances, like, that shit ain't always pretty, just like a regular job. You might, I ain't even gonna say it's the same as a regular job, because that's a set check that you get in. So like,
you just took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, that ass, you set every 2 weeks. Like, as an entrepreneur, you gotta go hard every day if you want them finances looking good. And even if you go hard, like,
it don't work like that all the time.
You could go fishing every fucking day, they ain't always gonna bite. So that's definitely, and it's out of your control at that point. I ain't even gonna lie. Of course, everybody could do more, and you could try to make shit happen, but like, it's not gonna bring the fish if they ain't biting. So like, everybody just gotta understand that. I mean, you gotta have a strong mental for shit like that. For real. How I feel like it's not for everybody. A lot of people feel like, if you ain't making rent this month, goddamn, the world is over. But like, as an entrepreneur, you ain't got that. I'm gonna just go to work for the rest of the 2 weeks and I'll make sure I get that extra bread. That I mean, like, you gotta make some shake out of nothing. Like, it might not even gotta do with what you got going on in your business, but you're gonna make something happen. You're gonna take what you got and make something shake with it. And that's how I feel entrepreneurs make it happen.
That's it.
That's for real.
I mean, I've done some research as far as like, having a financial plan and things like that. And they say the highest like failure rate for entrepreneurs is like within that 18-month period, the first 18 months. So it's like, that's one thing to like look into. Are you going to be able to, make it happen for 18 months? Like, I feel like everybody wants to be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I can do it. I can make it happen. And I 100% believe, like, if you believe in yourself and you're putting the work in,
I'm all here for you.
Right. But it also comes into planning and having finances set to the side. I can tell you straight up that my bank account went way down before it went up. And that's because I have money set to the side. Thank goodness. You know what I mean? But again, like, yes, making your own schedule is great. Doing your own things, great. But like, you don't have that set paycheck every week, every 2 weeks. Like, even if you get sick, You got PTO.
Yep.
Even if you don't have PTO and you're sick a couple days, you're still, even if you don't, you still went to work 7-10 days out the rest of the time. You're gonna get some kind of paycheck. And owning your own business, you cannot, especially in the first stages, you just can't guarantee that.
Definitely not. Anything happens, everything that happens at a job, you got to think of, you don't have that cushion of just showing up to work for the next 2 weeks to fix the problem. Like, you got to really get out there and get it. Like, go 10 times harder than what you thought you was going hard. Like, shit really get crazy.
Yeah, I know. Another thing is just like, while we're, talking about getting out there and getting it, is like, you gotta focus on themselves. Mm-hmm. Like, again, while it's great to, when I was working, I would get up every morning. I'm an early bird anyway, so I don't know if I can really speak on that, but I would get up every morning because I had to. And it's like, now I don't have to. But I'm still gonna get up in the morning because that's when I'm most productive.
Facts.
My head's like clear from getting some sleep. I'm not stressing about, I didn't make enough money yesterday or this week or whatever. So like, when I get up, that's when I do my posting. That's when I respond to my messages. That's when I email whoever I have to email, call whoever I have to call, freaking make whatever appointment, whatever. I make sure to get that out the way first thing because it's a priority.
Facts.
And if I don't focus on that and do that at the beginning of my day, then I'm like a toddler at the fucking park, like without a, you know what I'm saying? While my mom's talking to their next mom, like I'm out of here. So focusing on, again, it's good to have your own time. If you need to run an errand, do this, pick your kids up, whatever, all that's great. But at the end of the day, you gotta focus on those sales.
Stay focused. Gotta treat it like a job. Like you said, we wake up at a set time. Not at a job, you wake up at a set time. Like, you gotta be there at 8. You up at 7 in the morning, guaranteed, because you need this amount of time to do the whoop the whoop. But you gonna be there at 8, so you gotta treat your entrepreneurialism as a job.
As a job. It is a job.
It really is, because if you don't get up at 7 in the morning and commit to being, ready to get shit rolling at 8 o'clock, what happens at a job? Shit slow, shit don't work properly. But if you're not gonna push yourself the same way, like, you missing out on bread. Like, it's not guaranteed that first hour you want to slack off. Hey, you ain't make that, whatever you was supposed to make if you was bullshitting at a regular job. That's all on you. So you really got to get up and treat it like, shit depend on it, because it really do.
But this one's going to mess you up, though.
What's up?
While you have to focus, like, you also have to be flexible.
For sure.
And, like, I feel like a lot of people, especially like once you become semi-established as a small business, and like people feel like, he or she's getting a little bit of money, or they see people sharing your stuff, eating your stuff, wearing your stuff, talking about you, tagging you, like they feel like, like she just blew up. Like, nah, like there's stuff, like, people don't think about us sitting in here crying how we're gonna do this and do that, or like stressing about, damn, am I gonna have enough to pay this or pay that? Like, it's stressful. So I think as far as like getting back to like being flexible, like, and we were just talking about this as well, like, I feel like successful businesses, like, yeah, it's great to have like a main product or like a main service that you offer, but like, you also have to, you gotta like critique your own business, and you have to be willing to be like, okay, well, if this is not working, then let me bend this way and try this out, or like, yeah, or You have to test this, or you know, something that you're doing good on that's great. It's already doing good, so let's focus on what you're not doing good at.
True.
And then be willing to, you know, fix that. And I think another thing is like, you gotta know when to cut your losses too.
Oh, for sure.
Like, yeah, you may want that shit to go in one specific direction, and you may believe in that 100%, but if like you're pushing that and pushing that and pushing that and it's not like shaking, then you have to be like, okay, well, this isn't working. So I mean, if the puzzle piece don't fit, it don't fit. Like, you can't make it fit. You gotta go looking for the right piece. Same thing with business.
That's true.
And I also feel like you have to learn how to like be kind to yourself and realize that, like, listen, you're gonna make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, but you know, you gotta get up, dust yourself off, and get back to it.
Yeah,
like,
facts. So you're saying you gotta find a good balance between things, because it's not always go, 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 go. You know, you gotta let yourself know, like, take them little mental breaks. Not necessarily mental breaks, but you gotta just make sure that you doing shit properly. So I could definitely understand where you're coming from. Cause I'm getting to a point where I'm realizing, like, I was on go for so long every time I wake up in the morning that I didn't take time to, like, just appreciate what I had going on, because if I wasn't on go, I was stressing about not being on go and whatever being on go led me to. So I could definitely feel like, you know, you got to find balance between, you know, going 100%. Well, nah, fuck that. You got to go 100% all the time. But you definitely got to find time to, like, just, you know, make sure you're getting everything else taken care of so shit doesn't stack up.
yeah, I mean, that was definitely like one thing that I was going to say next is like, you gotta learn how to manage stress. And not just learn how to do it, but be able to do it.
For sure.
And I would say, out of everything that we've talked about, that's my number one thing. And I'm like, I catch myself being hard on myself all the time. Like, all the time. But at the end of the day, like, stress will kill you. It'll give you a fucking heart attack.
For sure.
It'll give you, you know, you'll have a fucking stroke. Like, it leads to a plethora of, you know, health issues. Not even that. Like, mental stress will break you down to where you can't even concentrate on your business. So, like, yeah, it's okay to have a bad day. But again, that's when you gotta get up and be like, listen, that was yesterday. Today's a whole new day. What am I gonna do to be proactive? You can't live in the past. You cannot live in the past with business. Like, you have to keep it moving.
For sure. Yesterday was yesterday. Today's sale.
And I mean, I'm gonna say this, like, and this is a piece of advice that I need to take for myself, and just off of the knowledge that I have with, you know, friends and acquaintances that I know that, you know, own and run a small business. Like, eating properly and like having proper like exercise is important. Like, I know for sure I get caught up in being here, you know, cooking. I'm sitting here decorating stuff. I might be posting stuff, and it's like a lot of stuff I'm either on the computer, on the phone, when I'm not, you know, baking. But like, you know, I got Letty, but very rare, and I have a big backyard before y'all even come for me. But like, I could definitely walk Letty more. Like, I do not, and I have, you know, the flowers and stuff outside, but like, it's been raining, and it's just like, that's stuff that I know for me personally, I'm baking all day. I'm doing stuff all day. I don't eat, or I'll be like, oh, I'm not hungry. It's not that I'm not hungry. I'm busy doing everything else, so I'm not thinking about being hungry. And then like 9-10 o'clock at night, when I'm finally winding down, it's like, yo, I'm starving. End up eating some bullshit. I'm tired and go to sleep. And, you know, it's like, it's not just me that does that, though. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people do that. If you're out here, you know, doing hair or whatever, you're on your feet 5-6 hours a day. Like,
you got no time to tuck off and eat.
Right.
And if you do eating some bullshit that's already ready to go, Wop to wop. I could definitely understand.
Yeah, I think it's also very important to have friends that are entrepreneurs, or at least people that are like supportive to you. Because like, y'all can come for me if you want to, but like, you are who you hang around. So
That's for sure. I fuck with the entrepreneurial friends thing because you chill around 5 people that want to go to the club every weekend. Guess where the fuck you gonna be at?
yeah,
on the
birds
weekends?
of a feather flock together. I don't care what anybody says.
That
Like,
is the
it's
truth.
true. Because like, if you don't, that's another time. But like, yeah, like, get you, and
Friends
not
who
even
about what you about.
yeah, you know, people that are gonna know what you go through. Because like, you might be having a bad day today, but I had a bad day yesterday. Or you might, I might have had a great day yesterday and having a bad day today. It happens. Like, but that's when it's good to like be like, oh, bounce ideas off of you. We do it all the time.
Oh, yeah,
like,
of
bounce
course.
ideas. Like, be like, oh, what do you think about this? Or
I heard about this.
right,
Like, yo, I
like-
heard this is popping. Like, that's definitely a good conversations to have because pointless conversations come from, I ain't gonna say come from pointless friends, but like, what is the point of having a conversation about going to the club or going spend bread on shoes and shit if, like, personally, I feel like that is non-beneficial. Like, I don't want to sit around and talk about like, let's go, oh, this store got these shoes, or this so-and-so's having a show or a sale or some shit. Like, and a sale I might tune into. I'm looking for the deals, you know. But like, on some pointless shit, like, I don't want to sit around with my buddies and talk about like females and like, oh, she bad, this chick bad, let's go cop these, blah blah blah. Like, bro, I'm trying to get shout out to who?
Little.
Oh, hey, I'm trying to talk conversation about business. Like, tell me what you got going on so it can spark ideas in my head that make me want to do stuff. Like, tell me what you feel. How do you feel we can make money right now? How do you feel, this could be beneficial to this or that? Like, those are the conversations that I want to have. And over the past couple years that I've been in Florida, like, I've gotten some friends, but I've gotten rid of a lot of friends because they're not about shit. And like, I'm not saying no names, but like, I'm not one to hold my tongue. Like, motherfuckers ain't about shit. Like, what the fuck am I sitting here chilling with you every weekend or all the time? Like, bro, we're not benefiting none. We just smoking, talking about nothing, playing games. Like, yo, this is pointless as fuck. I'm out of here. I'm trying to get some money. I don't give a fuck. I get $20, bitch. We going into the money. Like,
Right, something's better than
that
nothing,
is.
for
Like, I'm not
sure.
benefiting anything from any of these conversations, any of this time chilling. So I feel like that's goes hand in hand with social media. Like, you just gotta, whatever you're spending your time with is what you're becoming and what you're benefiting. So if you got people who are around you who ain't adding to what you got going on, if you, for real, you subtracting. Like, you wasting your time.
No, it's true. I mean, I feel like that too. And I mean, even if your friends aren't entrepreneurs, like, that's okay too, but they better be supportive.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, honestly, like, just being a business owner, not to mention a small business owner, like, it's already stressful enough. Like, dealing with customers sometimes can be stressful.
Sometimes.
Like,
That shit's stressful.
we love
Motherfuckers,
y'all.
you don't know.
We love y'all. But, like,
Karens.
sometimes, yeah, I've definitely had my share of Karens. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean.
But we nice. We talk that shit on the
Oh,
podcast.
yeah, customer
but
service
you
is
hit
key.
us in the inbox. We gonna give you the Caucasian voice through the vocals and everything, through the text messages and everything. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I am Caucasian.
So we giving you the good vibes on the
Okay.
good,
Okay.
we keeping
GBO.
everything positive, you know.
Yeah, no, like, but it's true. Like, it's just, again, like, it's very important to be able to call somebody and be like, hey, I'm having a bad day. And I don't think that enough people do that with their friends.
For sure.
for whatever
keeping
reason.
up on motherfuckers because we see what's going on in their lives. Oh, they posting pictures, they good. But it's different.
But yeah, it's not always. That's not always
Nah,
true.
that's not, but I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to EJ. He hit me up. He from high school, but like I don't have none of my friends like hit me up on some shit like this. This happened like last week. He's in Iraq. You know, shout out to him. You know, for serving our country and doing his thing.
Hey EJ, thanks EJ.
Facts. He had hit me up just on some like, you know, what up? Like, how you doing? Like, how's things been? You know, tell me about him and his wife, how things are over there, where he's at, how things been before, you know, he got deployed. And like I told him, like, bro, you know, I really appreciate you just hitting me on some like what's up stuff. Like, and he hit me back and was like, yo, you know, we don't gotta talk all the time for us to be friends, but I just want you to know, like, you know,
He's got your back.
he got your back. Like, he cares. So like
He's
there.
got your six.
Yeah. For sure. So like having that come from
Shout
people
out
is definitely
EJ.
a good thing, man.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's how it was with. I mean, you don't have to talk all the time. Like when I had, you know, put what I put on Facebook about, you know, having my dad get flowers. Like the girl that took my dad flowers to his grave. Like I've seen her since high school, but like we haven't hung out since like high school.
I got you.
I'm 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that really mean like who? For real, how many people? Now I'm sure you got a couple. You know what I'm saying? But like.
Nobody.
How many people could you call or could you ask to be like, hey, from like 3 states away to be like, it's
From
Father's
years ago.
right, from 20 years ago.
Come on now, like nobody. I
That's
can't.
and then like they live like 30 minutes away from this place on top of that. Yeah, like you know, listen.
That's love.
Get you some supportive friends, like but I mean, if I could say anything, like just I guess to like sum things up, if I could say anything as far as like being an entrepreneur, it's hard work, and you have to be dedicated to, you know, putting that work in, because if you're not, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna waste your time, you're gonna waste your money, like you're gonna stress yourself out,
For sure.
like, and I think while COVID did, I feel like because COVID did it for me, COVID kicked me into fucking gear, because I mean, we used to work together, guys, just so you guys know.
Shout out Great Vacation if they still around.
Shout out, they're still thugging. But like, I forgot where I was going with that. Fuck.
Nah, just putting people on game. Like as far as like if you're gonna be an entrepreneur, you know.
Oh, that's what I was saying. My bad, guys, I'm fried. I'm like 3 joints in right now.
No lie, and about a couple gummies in there. Sheesh.
So like my whole thing was this, like when I was, you know, before I quit my job, like I thought about it so many times and was like, yo, and I love, you know, don't get me wrong, like I loved it there, but I also like, you want to do something for yourself.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
you want to
sure.
have something that you can really say, like,
You made it
in
happen.
your life, what did you do? Like, what can you leave the world and be like, nobody else did this? Like,
I like that.
and I made it last for like years. So
Yeah.
it's like, but before I did that, it was like, COVID did like make me make the final decision, but I also feel like COVID, people just hopped on, you know, stimmies was coming through,
Oh yeah, of course. All that
unemployment
bread
was coming through.
Peek, peek, peek.
So I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna go get me a booth at the salon, I'm gonna go get me a booth at the swap, I'm gonna go buy a $3,000 pressure washer to wash, you know, do detailing, and like, nobody thought about where were you gonna do this, when were you gonna do this, how were you gonna market this, you know, it's just, again, it's a lot. So guys, if I can give you one piece of advice, and I'm gonna wrap it up, it's just to believe in yourself 100%. Do the research on what you want to do. Take your time. Pray about it.
For sure.
And just stick to it. Like, because if you don't, consistency is key.
Definitely.
So even when you don't want to do it, even when you're tired, even when you're mad, even when you're sad, you just gotta do it.
For sure.
Shout out to Nike. Just fucking do it. But guys, we're gonna keep it short and sweet this week. That's been our chat about entrepreneurship, entrepreneurialism. Leave us some comments, guys. Like, let us know, is this stuff that you guys experience? I'm sure, there's plenty of people listening. Let us know if you have any questions. Like I said, I'm not a pro, but I'm going on 5 years. So if I could answer or like give any advice or point you in the right direction, drop us a comment. Guys, share this, comment, like, get us out there into YouTube world.
Let us know what we should talk about as well. Like, we got a lot more letters to cover. So, like, if y'all got any...
F is next week, guys. F is next week. So drop it in the comments. If you have something that starts with the F, if you want to... fake friends, anything you want to talk about. I don't have any
finances.
of those. Finances. I kind of want to do something like, I feel like we've been like business. So like, I don't know. We're gonna come with some heat for you
so
guys.
leave us some thoughts in the comments. We'll definitely take them into consideration. If not, make it the whole topic of the conversation. We definitely love hearing from y'all. Love y'all tapping in on all of the social networks. Patty's Pastries Patty's _pastries 254 and in a picture with Patty. I'm feeling good as a bitch right now. And it's Friday, y'all. Happy Friday. Y'all gonna hear this on Wednesday.
You're gonna hear it on Wednesday.
Midweek. Have a good week. The week is almost over with. Stay positive. Keep your mind in a good spot. Shouts out to God. And
that's it.
You heard? It's been another episode of
In a Pinch with Patty. Featuring
Quis.
Peace.
We out, y'all.